I'm here with Dr. Mayank Amin, who is the owner of Skippack Pharmacy and known to his patients as Superman.
So this is our journey the past few years. These are handwritten notes of thanks. We have about 10,000 handwritten notes from patients as young as 2 years old all the way up to over 100 years. And it's kind of amazing that every single letter or message or note of thanks tells a story.
Tell us a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey.
Yes, with anything great that comes in life, it requires a lot of effort. There's going to be many nights that you spend alone, and it's some of those times and moments that you feel like you're just by yourself, where you realize that you always need another hand to help you out. For me, obviously, I had my guru by my side. I had the Satsang family, and I also had a lot of community volunteers. We were able to administer over 100,000 vaccines in the past 3 years, and there wasn't a moment where I was left alone.
Can you tell us a little about your journey that got you to where you are today?
Sure. Ever since I was a child, I always had a goal in mind to find something that I could do in my life that would make me happy and that would also allow me to help other people. Whether it was in the Hollywood industry where you're actually giving people laughter and happiness at their home, or providing healthcare and taking care of patients in your local community, I always found an opportunity to find those professions or those opportunities where I could do something more. And for me, coming out of pharmacy school, I was a stand-in double for Dev Patel. There afterwards, I started with a company called Walgreens, working as a pharmacist, but not doing the traditional role of just dispensing medications. I was more so out in the community, providing outreach, going to seniors' homes, doing things outside of the box, and I spent day and night trying to figure out ways to do other things. Eventually, that led me on to working for Pfizer.
So you left all that to start a pharmacy in Skippack, Pennsylvania.
Because I wanted to do something for my community. And when this pharmacy that we're sitting in right now closed down about 5 years ago and was sold to a large chain, at that moment I had seen seniors come to this pharmacy trying to open the door, and they were distraught realizing that something so near and dear to their heart had actually closed down. So I decided, you know what, once in my life I want to actually stick up for people that are from my own neighborhood.
So it seems like you were doing a lot, then you started doing less and focus, then it blew up and you're doing a lot again.
Yes.
Like, how do you balance that?
The most challenging part about balancing your work and your passions and your want or your drive to help people is the ability to manage that with your own personal endeavors. All while this was happening in the last 2 years, I've had 2 children. And for the first child, because of COVID, we were afraid to go back to our own family's houses. And also, being here 14 hours a day or being out in the community giving vaccines really did not have that much time. I can say that while I decided to wear the superhero costume, it was my family that truly deserves the costume, because my wife and my family were the ones that were basically missing a husband, a son for that period of time.
So Mike, you've been very active in the BAPS community as well. How has what you've done within the BAPS community helped you today?
Ever since I was a child, I went to a temple in Philadelphia, and we would go an hour going there, hour coming back, and we learned a lot. I went to Bal Sabha, Kishore Sabha, just youth classes that helped develop us as individuals, not just at the temple, but also outside of the mandir. And that was the whole goal of these programs, is to shape who we are and shape who we are to be able to help others out in our community and also become better people. As I grew up, I also became a teacher myself. My father was one of the people that found the temple here locally in Lansdale. And I got the opportunity to teach a lot of young kids in this area who are now, some of them are graduating and going on to become pharmacists or doctors. And it's an amazing feeling to be able to give back.
What are some other skills? Like you mentioned time management, event planning. What are some of the other skills that you kind of gathered throughout your time within the BAPS community that you kind of utilize every single day now?
One of the things at the Mandir that I really came to understand was the aspect of, if you ever run into a problem, yes, you want to ask for help, but 2, you have to figure out how to get around it. So that challenge really helped me. Whether it's a simple lighting problem at the pharmacy, a plumbing problem, or a website or graphic issue. Obviously there's people that we can hire to do that, but in the sense of the moment, the Mandir has really taught me that sometimes if you learn how to do a little bit of everything, whenever an emergency arises, you can fix that own emergency until someone else can come and help. And that's what I learned and was able to apply to a lot of the aspects that I now do with my day-to-day at the pharmacy.
You know, I think one thing that Mandir also gives us is courage. You, with courage, not only wear the Superman costume, but you also wear it. Look, John, I've seen you on the national news wear it with such pride. Now, how do you get that courage? Like how, like you can show the camera, like this is him. You were on multiple news networks. You've done hundreds of interviews. If you look at photos on prominent journals, this is a part of you.
One of the most important things that I tell people that I meet is never be afraid to show your real self. So if in the morning I'm sitting at home and I'm doing puja and I apply the tilak chanlo on my forehead, what's the need for me to wipe that off because I'm afraid that someone's going to say, call me a name, for example.
The messaging, the positive messaging, the skills that you gained, I think the most important thing you said today was that you can be comfortable in your own skin and have an identity that you are proud of. Show us this little container here. So you actually have hundreds, if not thousands, of these collected over here. What is the significance? Why don't you just throw these away?
So each one of these vaccines bottles contained about 10 to 20 different vaccines at that time. And these vaccine vials correlate with the stories that are on the wall. This is a part of history. 50 years down the road, there's going to be people talking about what happened back in the day when there was COVID.
Yeah.
And how people came together to help.
Well, thank you, Mayank, for joining us today, and thanks for inspiring.
Thanks.